Good evening and welcome to West Talk. Thank you for being here with us on this Tuesday, November the 15th. One thing I want to tell you about right off the top before I forget is tickets went on sale today for the biggest New Year's Eve party in Western Newfoundland. That's right, Marble Mountain. This year, New Year's Eve is going to be a time. The Mixtapes, locally loved 80s rock party band, as well as The Catch. And I don't even know what to say about The Catch besides they will blow your mind and your socks off. Together, these bands create such a fun night, and it's going to be the perfect way to bring in a new year. Shake off all that stuff from the last few years and ring in the new year just like we used to. Big rooms, all kinds of people together, wearing fancy clothes, cheersing, eating food. So New Year's Eve, get your tickets right now, skimarble.com, or come on up to Marble and we'll sell it to you. As per all the other episodes this season, we're starting off by telling you about a Written Right Here book. And today we have Skipper Chess, As Tough as It Gets. And this is written by Newfoundland author Fred Dyke. And it encapsulates the life and times of Captain Chesley Dyke and Elsie Stanford Dyke, Pool Island, Bonavista. Fred Dyke captures the joys and struggles of his parents and what it was like in rugged Newfoundland outports from the early 1900s through the Great Depression and into the 50s and 60s. Storms, shipwrecks, working in the woods, fishing, and courage made up the lives of a loving couple who raised their family on Pools Island in Newfoundland. Skipper Chess, Tough as It Gets. Pick this up at a fine Newfoundland book retailer near you. We've got a great show for you today. We're going to be introducing you to Alison Howard from ABC Literacy Canada, as well as Nick Hamlyn, who's going to tell us about We Will Rock You, a production coming up this weekend in Corner Brook. Great show. We can't wait to share it with you. Stick around.
So why volunteer at Rogers TV? Well, it's fun, exciting, and challenging. You can develop practical, hands-on skills in TV production, make new friends, and have fun, all while giving back to your community. For a few hours a week, you can be part of a great team making great local television. Want to find out more? Get in touch with us at rogerstv.com. Make your mark and find a new passion as a Rogers TV volunteer.
All right, and as promised, our first guest joining us remotely now from Guelph, Ontario, with ABC Literacy Canada, Alison Howard. Alison, are you with us now?
Yes, I am. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us all the way from Ontario today. Alison, for our viewers at home right now in Western Newfoundland, can you start by explaining what ABC Literacy Canada is?
Yes, ABC Life Literacy Canada is a national nonprofit. We provide introductory learning materials for adults on a variety of topics, including financial literacy.
Awesome, and I think financial literacy is a very important topic for people young and old and all over the country. So what can you tell us about financial literacy now, and how does ABC Literacy Canada roll out that information to people like Western Newfoundlanders?
Right. November is Financial Literacy Month, and this is led by the Financial Consumer Agency of Canada. So it's an opportunity to raise awareness of the importance of financial literacy, and it's an opportunity for communities to get together and find solutions to helping people build their skills around managing their own money, managing debt, reducing anxiety around debt, lots of different issues that come up when it comes to managing your money. ABC Life Literacy Canada does have some free initiatives available. We have a program called Money Matters, which includes lots of free workbooks and resources available from our website, which is abcmoneymatters.ca. And we do have a lot of local workshops around the country to give people that in-person help that they might be needing.
And it just seems like such a big, broad topic now. Finances and the way people manage money are changing so much every day. There's new forms of currency being created digitally and otherwise. And so it seems like a big problem. And where do these programs start, and where in general can people start to kind of take control again of their finances?
Well, there's lots of steps that people can take. The first is to recognize that you're not alone. Many adults have anxiety and have different questions around how to manage their money. It's odd because as adults, we're just kind of expected to know how to manage our own money, and it's a very personal issue. And it's very difficult to admit to yourself and to others that maybe you don't have all the skills or information you need. Maybe you do need some help and have some questions. So taking that first step and reaching out is great. You need to find someone that you can trust to talk about some different questions that you have. There's lots of counseling agencies out there, also resources such as that from ABC Life Literacy Canada. We do have workshops, free workbooks on our website that do look at a lot of basic introductory topics such as borrowing money, making a spending plan, how to get help with debt, how to help manage your anxiety. So these kinds of programs really do help people build their confidence and help them take that next step that they need.
And in your experience, does there seem to be a most common sort of need or issue when it comes to people's finances across Canada? Are there any particular sort of pitfalls or traps that people most often find into find themselves in?
Well, understanding credit is very important before you start borrowing money and things like that. So there's a lot of different basics to touch on to get started. And so if people don't have that very basic introductory level kind of information, it's very difficult to progress to other forms of banking or money management, such as borrowing, uh, taking on debt, uh, investing. Those are more advanced stages, but having those basics down pat at first will really help a lot.
Yeah, and I think it's sad that at least when I was graduating in high school, at those times there wasn't a lot of information available about finances, even in the school system, about credit, um, and managing your own sort of money. And and I think now maybe there's people who are in their 40s, early 40s or 50s, and maybe feel like it's too late to regain control of their finances. What might you say to people who are thinking that it's just too late and they're never going to have that credit card paid off and it's just going downhill?
It's never too late to learn something new. All of our resources are available at introductory reading levels. They're very accessible. Because they're available for free online, a lot of our resources, you can access them on your own time in the privacy of your own home. It's just you doing your thing. And if there are additional resources if you'd like to talk to other people, we also do in person workshops and online workshops as well.
And how do the in-person workshops sort of go? Are they in-person virtual, or are there people around various areas who you can connect with?
We have both. We did do almost exclusively in person before the pandemic. During the pandemic, we pivoted to online, and now we do both. We do have quite a number in Newfoundland and Labrador that are available. We run them with local community organizations and agencies. Um, there's quite a few happening in the province, and these are uh, different types of topics, different areas, and lots available for everyone. If they're interested, we do have lots available.
It's awesome. And, for me, I love to see people getting chances to learn about this from sort of non-commercial sources. Right now, in a lot of small communities, the only person that you can really go to ask about money and investing and stuff is probably someone who wants you to give them your money, and they want to invest it for you, whether that's a financial advisor or a bank or something like that, right? So I think maybe that's part of the reason why people are reluctant to go and seek advice. So really awesome to hear that there's no strings attached here with ABC Literacy Canada. And if there are viewers here now listening to this and connecting with this, where can they find out where their opportunity might be to connect with someone in person in, say, Western Newfoundland? Where do those events and opportunities get listed?
Right. Well, just to give you a couple of samples of where we are hosting, we do have the Newfoundland and Labrador Lobak Literacy Council in Corner Brook that does workshops. Stephenville, Clarenville, Kippens, Gander, many in St. John's, of course. So we do have them all over the province. We can find out more by contacting us through abcmoneymatters.ca. Our online materials are available at abcskillshub.ca. Um, Give us a shout. We'll set you up.
Sounds awesome. Simple. No reason not to reach out today. And I should ask just for clarification, are there any costs associated with these programs or these
None
meetings?
whatsoever. These are free for everyone.
Awesome. Very, very good. Alison, any last word now on financial literacy and its importance in Canada or on ABC Literacy Canada?
Just to make sure that people know that there are resources available, there are people available, organizations ready to help, and there's no obligation, there's nothing to buy, there's nothing to spend money on. This is completely there to help individuals and families to help manage their money better.
Amazing. Alison, I want to thank you so much for connecting with us all the way from Ontario today. Please do reach out to us if you have anything else that we need to know about financial literacy.
Thank you very much.
And that was Alison Howard, all the way from Guelph, Ontario today. We're going to take a quick break and be right back with our next guest, the mighty Nick Hamlyn. Stay tuned.
So why volunteer at Rogers TV? Well, it's fun, exciting, and challenging. You can develop practical, hands-on skills in TV production, make new friends, and have fun, all while giving back to your community. For a few hours a week, you can be part of a great team making great local television. Want to find out more? Get in touch with us at rogerstv.com. Make your mark and find a new passion as a Rogers TV volunteer.
All right, and we are back now with our second guest in studio this time, thankfully. Someone many of you will know and recall from many great productions here in Corner Brook over the last decade, or almost two now at this point. Happy to reintroduce you to Mr. Nick Hamlyn. Nick, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks so much for having me, Dustin.
Sorry for dating you with your rock and roll resume there.
That's okay, I earned it.
Yeah, certainly, you know, you're a staple on the scene here since you're pretty much like 16, maybe even earlier.
Yeah.
U-Turn and the boys tearing it up on Broadway.
Those were the days.
Those were the days.
Yeah.
And then, you know, sort of as a solo performer and musician and writer, had a great long run in Corner Brook. And then you took off. You left us.
Yep, abandoned, yep.
Yeah, so where did you go? Like, what happened during this Nick Hamlyn gap that Corner Brook experienced?
Well, I was working pretty much full-time as an artist, and then the COVID hit,
Yeah.
and my job became illegal. So after a couple years, I figured it was time for a quick change, and went to Halifax for almost a year. Tried out some new things, met some new people, and then realized I don't like any of them as much as I like it here. So
Right.
yeah, beginning of the summer, I moved back, and back in Corner Brook.
Yeah, and just before COVID, it seemed like you were getting involved in a lot more sort of bigger productions, theater shows, you know, running shows of your own at the Rotary Arts Center, like
Yeah.
every month, and then these bigger Arts and Culture Center dues. And that's sort of what brings us here today to chat. You're
absolutely.
jumping straight back into another major production, and with We Will Rock You.
Ah, so good. I saw that Steve put up the call for auditions, and then I moved back to Corner Brook. So
Perfect.
yeah, no, absolutely stoked to be involved with another off-Broadway production. I did Rent a few years ago, where I got to play Roger, which is a role I wanted to do ever since I saw the movie, and then the 300 different stage versions I saw online. And then yeah, they said We Will Rock You, and I've been a Queen fan since I started listening to music. That was one of those really early on obsessions, right? You find those like 3 or 4 bands that you listen to way too much, and they were always one for me. And I saw We Will Rock You over a decade ago in Toronto, and I remember being there. I'm like, I want to do that. That looks fun. I want to do that. And then yeah, all this time later, I finally get to get in the cast, and super excited for it.
So for people who maybe aren't familiar with the We Will Rock You as the, you know, global sensation of a sort of Broadway show, what can you tell us, the high-level overview about what We Will Rock You is?
Oh man, this show has everything. Post-apocalyptic wastelands, awesome musical numbers. Well, okay, it doesn't have everything. Music that's not written by Queen doesn't have any of that. So it's all Queen music. But yeah, it's a perfect jukebox musical where you get these perfect songs written by Queen, one of the greatest bands that ever banded, and this storyline that kind of runs through it with this post-apocalyptic, or not post-apocalyptic, but post-technological setting where the corporations have kind of taken over and music's kind of been whittled down to the most profitable machine kind of stuff they can kick out. And then there's this little band of people that want to save the old ways. It's nothing like real life at all.
That sounds really, really cool.
Yeah,
it is. A little bit of George Orwell.
Yeah, it's 1984 plus Footloose, but with music instead of dancing. Right?
That's an incredible description. Yeah. And so yourself now as a cast member, you know, because I generally don't know, are you,
Sure.
Do you also play the music? Like, are you singing and playing guitar, or is it just sort of like acting? How does the music portion work itself into the show?
We have got a incredible band. So it's a 6-piece band that are kind of floating on stage.
Name drops?
Name drops. You got Ford Burton. You got Reg Bennett. You got we got 2 Keiths.
Whoa.
That's like way more Keiths than your average band.
Whoa.
Right? Alison Clark, Darlene. Yeah, we've got a killer band.
Killers.
And the amount of air that's getting pushed out and the amount of sound coming from 6 people just really makes the show, and it hits so hard.
Yeah.
And
there's even like a choir, right? Like a full, there's even like a choir.
Yeah, we've got a full chorus, over 20 people in the chorus. We've got an extra chorus backstage. Because I don't know if you've noticed, Bohemian Rhapsody is an extremely complicated song, right? And I mean, the fact that Queen was 4 dudes on stage and it takes 30 people to recreate some of these songs is a testament to how good the music is.
Wow.
But it's a really authentic rock experience. None of the music's pre-recorded. There's little triggers and samples, so there's a fun, cool little Easter eggs thrown in there.
But it's all live. It's all live.
But it's all live, yeah, and it's really incredible. Some of this, it's a nice big sound, big epic songs.
Yeah, these Queen songs are no joke to do justice to, certainly in this sort of environment. So, you know, how do you feel about it as a musician, about what you're hearing? Like, how does it hold up?
It really does hold up, and I've always done some Queen songs, you know, in my years in bar bands.
Yeah, Fat Bottom Girls, all
Fat
that.
Bottom Girls, and you know, I Want to Break Free, which is one I actually get to do in the show. Was awesome. Showed up, already knew the first number. I looked so prepared.
Yep.
Those and like Crazy Little Thing Called Love, and I mean, those are the ones that like we as musicians get to play a bunch. But then we get into that whole second tier of things that maybe you wouldn't want to play at a bar. Like myself and Emma McEachern get to do Who Wants to Live Forever, which is this epic, beautiful, massive song. But unless you're watching Highlander, you don't get to hear it very often.
Right.
Right? So yeah, it's really cool. Some of the songs that they picked are just exceptional. And they work into the story the exact amount they should. But yeah, it's a really cool experience.
Fun, man. And so, who are the masterminds behind this? Who are the off-Broadway players, and what is this all about?
What a fantastic question. So Steve Pritchard's directing. Amy is doing the choreo. Chelsea Marks is our stage director. That's not it. No, stage manager. There you go.
That's nice.
See, I'm a lot more versed in the musical side of it than the theater side.
Yeah.
So, but you know, we got a great team. The crew, at the Arts and Culture Center are top notch, right?
Yeah.
So we're halfway through Tech Week, and the lights are starting to come together, and the sound mix is starting to filter in there, and just every day it gets cooler and cooler, and I'm just getting more and more excited. But yeah, it's a volunteer community theater, and it's a production that will rival most of them, in my humble opinion. We're definitely fighting well out of our weight class. Which is really cool. It's going to be a really great product.
Yeah, I mean, I've just seen like a few little pictures of the early stage setup and things like that. I mean, it looks like larger than life. Somehow makes the Arts and Culture stage look bigger than it actually is.
Yeah.
You know, the multi-dimensional aspect to it.
Yeah, we've got 3 different tiers.
Yeah.
And it's and then once the lights start hitting and some of those effects get put into action, it's going to be really exceptional.
Yeah, and so tickets are on sale now, I guess. And
Yeah, right now. They're starting to sell. I know that we're the numbers are dwindling. I think
Right.
we're in the yellows or reds on the Arts and Culture website. So
How many nights does the show run?
3 nights. So we're doing the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, November 17th, 18th, and 19th.
That's this weekend.
That's this weekend.
Oh my goodness.
I've heard there's an act 2. I should really look into that. And I mean, my mom already bought tickets to all the shows. So I mean, like, it's competitive.
That's right. Yeah, you've got a big family, so there's not going to be a lot of tickets left for everyone else.
The row G is just people that'll get mad at me if I mess up. It's great.
That's awesome. So,
Yeah.
and people can just go on down to the Arts and Culture now and buy physically or online, of
Yep.
course.
Jump
and
on the
select-
web. I think it's a
select
little
your
easier on
seats
the
and everything.
website, but yeah. And then whenever I know the box office is open at some point.
Yeah, sometimes. I think it's open until 6 o'clock. I
Yeah,
think last time I looked.
admittedly, I'm out of the loop on that.
Listen, you got a lot to catch up on, right? You've been gone away. Corner Brook has changed.
Right.
But now that you're back, things are starting to get a bit normal again. At least that's the way it feels.
I've never made anything more normal before. That's good to know.
That's right. You're making Corner Brook great again.
Right? Yeah.
And do you think, looking down the road and sort of at how you plan to reestablish here in Corner Brook, do you think you're going to be doing a lot of these types of things going forward? Like, are you going to be down for any musical that happens?
I really hope so. Yeah. This is definitely at the center of all of my favorite parts of performing.
Yeah.
Because I've never been a big songwriter, but I love interpreting songs, love performing.
Yeah.
And then I always did the improv show Real and True with Grossmore Summer Music for a few years.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've always done a comedy forward show. Anytime I do those Rotary Arts Center shows, I get as many compliments about in between songs as I do about the songs.
It's kind of like always, it was kind of always your thing. Even in U-Turn, it was always that sort of banter and stuff that really made it fun in between.
Yeah, it's always my favorite part. I think deep down, I just want to host a variety show.
Yeah.
Right? So I just like bringing that energy. And yeah, I definitely found my happy space is on stage.
Cool.
Right? So it's definitely something that I plan on doing absolutely as much as I can.
Did you ever do, when you think back to like high school and junior high, were you ever in like drama or acting or anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, I was in the drama club in high school. High school was weird because I kind of, I went full chameleon, right? I was on the hockey team, but in the drama club and on the choir too. And
Right.
yeah, just, hey, if I'm everywhere, I don't really have to be anywhere.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
So that was always my wheelhouse. But I mean, my first musical in grade 6 with Miss Forsey doing Rooster for Little Orphan Annie, right? So it's always something that I've fully enjoyed, right?
Nice.
It's definitely my favorite. It's my favorite thing to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm happier on stage.
It's cool, and it's really cool to see that there's sort of this outlet as well in Corner Brook for people who have that desire and want to do it, and there's not a lot of, I guess, avenues for people to pursue like acting or drama in the area. This might be the only one as far as I know of. Actually, there are some other dinner theaters and things. I think you've been involved with them in the past, right?
Yes, the Newfound Family Drama Dinner Theater is, they go in the summers and a little bit on either side there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got such a talented and deep arts community here. And any chance that we get to support it and show it off is always, it makes for a better day, right?
Well said.
Yeah.
Very well said. Anything else, Nick, on We Will Rock You that you'd like to say to get people excited for this amazing play?
Oh man, I don't see. This is a really tricky question because I want to share, but I don't want to spoil
Don't want to spoil,
anything.
no.
Right? It's that weird that area between teasing and spoiling, right? There's some costume changes that are going to be truly impressive, and some of them are going to be varyingly finished. But like, come for the music. Stay for the comedy, and bring the feelings home with you, right? When the full cast gets ripping on some of those big songs, it's gonna stick with you, and it's truly impressive what a volunteer local theater company can pull together in a couple of months. And it's a proper rock show. It's a musical that you're gonna walk out feeling like you just went to a rock concert, and
Amazing.
it's wild.
I think we should leave it with that because that is very well said. I am hyped, and I'm sure everyone else who's watching this is hyped.
Awesome.
And Nick, I want to thank you for coming down. I'm sure we're all going to see lots more of you here now in the next few months.
Thanks, Dustin.
And
Yeah.
next time you have something that you're involved in that you want to chat about, You know where to bring it?
Perfect.
All right.
Thanks so much.
And that was Nick Hamlin. By the way, when you do go out to see We Will Rock You, keep an eye out for a very special appearance from our own Gian, producer right here, who's going to be in the chorus, I hear. So a reason alone to go check out this show. Tickets on sale right now for We Will Rock You at the Arts and Culture Center box office or online. We're going to take a quick break and wrap this thing up for you. Stay tuned.
So why volunteer at Rogers TV? Well, it's fun, exciting, and challenging. You can develop practical, hands-on skills in TV production, make new friends, and have fun, all while giving back to your community. For a few hours a week, you can be part of a great team making great local television. Want to find out more? Get in touch with us at rogerstv.com. Make your mark and find a new passion as a Rogers TV volunteer.
And just like that, it's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in to Westdock every Tuesday. Don't forget to tell your friends. Share this on Facebook and YouTubes and all that kind of stuff as well. We are one of the most watched community television programs on the Rogers Network in Canada. Can you believe that? This little Corner Brook show. We want to thank Alison Howard for joining us today from Guelph, Ontario, to speak a little bit about financial literacy and how all of us Western Newfoundlanders can go learn a bit more about that, as well as Mr. Nick Hamlin, who is back in Corner Brook and going to be rocking you this weekend with the Off-Broadway Players at We Will Rock You. Tickets on sale right now. We will see you there. And until next week, thanks for watching Westdock. Have a great night.
If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it. Email or call us, or send us your feedback through social media.
When it comes to drugs, how much freedom is too much for kids?
Drugs are out there. Will my teen feel free to say no around other kids?
I didn't live drug-free when I was younger. Can I admit that to my kids?
Drugs worry me, but how can I feel free to talk about it with my kids?
Questions about drugs and kids? Drug Free Kids Canada.
We can be hurt. We can be bruised. We can be broken. Slowed down, confused, and even numbed.